Yo, 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 welcome to the show. So, I gotta do this a little bit quickly because the battery is somewhat limited on the phone, but that's okay because I can talk just fast enough that we can get this review done relatively quickly. I'm gonna talk about Joker 2, the movie that had an extraordinary backlash. So, I went to see it actually the day that it came out in an absolutely packed out cinema, and I was really fascinated with the way the audience were reacting. So, I've seen the movie more than once, okay? And the first time, I was sort of like feeling a bit mixed up about it. I was thinking, what's going on here? Why is it a musical? I kind of like this, kind of like that. Not so sure about this. And when I came out, I spoke to a couple of people, and one guy in particular asking what they thought about it. Now, I knew what I thought about it on the initial viewing, but I was curious to know how other people felt because it was a heavy feeling, man. It wasn't all that positive. And this one guy said to me, yeah, I didn't like it. And I said, did you notice that he isn't really a villain in this movie? Like he wasn't violent. He didn't come out like a violent person. If anything, he's like a victim in this movie more than the first one. And the guy said to me, yeah, he said, that's why I didn't like. No, he said, I think that's why I didn't like it. And when he said that, I thought, well, that kind of means the movie, in terms of what it's trying to say, is a success. Because the characters have turned against the Joker, right? Arthur. The characters in the world have turned against Arthur because he's now just another normal, vulnerable, guy in an asylum, like he is in the beginning of the first movie. And the only time he gets fandom and people start to love him is when he becomes a villain. And the audience who went to see the first movie were like that too. Oh, he's a crazy wild villain who's just kind of pulling out handguns, and we love him. And then it's like, and now he's a normal dude, not a normal dude, but he's a non-violent guy, and they hate him, and he's punished for it. And that's how the audience watching the movie reacted to him as well. And I was thinking, well, that's very interesting because that and if you pay attention to the movie, this does have spoilers. I'm sick of doing spoiler free reviews. So anyway, so spoilers, if you don't watch this if you haven't seen the film, even in the very last scene of the movie, it's pretty clear, isn't it, that because the Joker's like saying, hey, I'm just me, I'm just a normal guy, I'm trying to be a normal guy anyway, someone turns on him and stabs him, right? And it's like going, that's what they'll do to you for not living up to their expectations. Well, that's how the audience reacted across the world. They're like, the audience are that character at the end of the movie who were like, you've disappointed me, so this is what I'm going to do to you. And in that regard, I thought, well, that's really clever. So then I went to see the movie again. And, I mean, to me, it was weird. It was like I couldn't not see it again. It was like, it was such a big experience, and I was so muddled up by it. Like, I certainly wasn't bored, but I remember thinking, like, did they make it a musical because Lady Gaga said she'd be in it? Like, if that's the case, that I found that kind of annoying. But the second time, I just went in and I was like, oh my god, I'm really enjoying this. Like the cinematography is great, and then I noticed something very early on. Well, two things actually. So first of all, right before I went in on the second screening, I thought to myself, why is it that the opening scene was predominantly on him being shaved and he gets cut? And that's when they bring the title up. Joker, boom, is right there when he gets cut. And I thought, like, just a tiny cut on his... it's been a while since I've seen it now. I think it's just under his lip. It's like just there. And then boom, Joker comes up. And I was thinking about it before I went in, thinking, why would they open the film with that? What was the significance of him being cut? And then I'm watching the film, and I'm already thinking, in the first movie, there was a lot of theories as to how much of it is actually happening for real and how much of it is happening in Arthur's mind, and that made it really quite an interesting film. And this time, on the second viewing, I notice that when Arthur is being taken outside the prison, there's a little outside kind of cage where he has to walk from one part of the asylum to the other right before he meets the Lady Gaga Harley Quinn character. There's this scene which is in the trailer where all the guards pull out umbrellas. Okay, now in the trailer it's very evident they each pull out a different coloured umbrella. But if you pay attention to the way the film is, that sequence is filmed, the camera is very low, looking up at them as they cross that little pathway. And every single guard has a black umbrella. And then when they flip them up, you see it from the bird's eye angle, and Arthur looks up into the sky, and all the umbrellas are multicolored. And then when they enter the next section of the asylum, it's a wide shot, and the 4 guards put the umbrellas into the rain bins, and they're all black umbrellas again. So it's really clear. It's like, oh, okay, so this is how Arthur's dealing with things. This is all in his, he's seeing colours that aren't there. And it's interesting because he's put into the rain, and those 4 guards are told off, going, why didn't you give him an umbrella? And it's clear, okay, he's being mistreated. But to handle the mistreatment, he's allowing himself to go off into a delusion in order to protect himself. Okay? And then the delusions, if you pay attention, keep on coming back as a means of protecting himself throughout the movie, and they move from colour to song. Okay? Like in the courtroom, the first time his mother is brought up, and it's being talked about how she abused him, that's the very first time he actually starts drawing the Joker on a piece of paper, which makes it clear, like, he is trying to escape now. He's trying to escape from this very, very sore memory, and the impact that it has had on him and continues to have on him. See, the battery's running out. So anyway, the songs started to become more and more and more significant, because I'm thinking, okay, every single thing in this movie is just, like, basically, it started to sink in the second viewing. Like, I was thinking, I don't even think Harley Quinn is actually here. He might meet her at the beginning. He might have seen her in that room. But it's entirely possible that there is no relationship between him and Harley Quinn. For example, when she meets him in the cell, right, in the high security underground cell, how on earth would she get into that? Okay, he just wakes up and there she is next to him and she's like, I'll do anything for you. But I was thinking, this doesn't make any sense. I think she's in his mind. Then later on, when she comes into the courtroom, it's like she comes in late. Now, as far as I know, you can't walk into a court like that late. You can't just walk in, right? And she walks in late, which makes me think, I don't think she's there. He's looking around an empty courtroom at first going, I'm looking for her. He even says it to the judge, I'm looking for someone. And everyone laughs. And then she comes in later. And if you pay attention, it's like she might not be in this movie. This entire character might just be in his mind. Okay? And then the most amazing thing, like, there are so many things in the movie I'd love to break down, but I just don't have the time. But the very final shot of the film is so amazing, because if you pay close attention, the Joker is on his side and the audience is watching his stomach bleed. But pay close attention to his mouth where he was shaved at the beginning, because there's one tiny drop of blood that falls off his lip exactly where he was cut by the razor, and it hits the ground, and that's when the movie cuts to black and ends. And if you pay close attention, it implies that the whole movie might well just have taken place from the time he was shaved and cut to the time he walked down the corridor, because there's no way his lip would still be bleeding from being shaved weeks later. So it implies the whole movie might literally just be 5 minutes in a crazy person's head. And in that regard, I really liked it, and I like the music choices. I gotta go. I thought it was good, way better than everyone else thought it was. All right, I gotta go because the battery's gonna run out. Bye, bye.